Friends, you never know who you'll touch in life. You never know how or when you'll have an impact or how important your example can be to someone else. My faith helps me understand that circumstances don't dictate my happiness or my inner peace. The chances you take, the people you meet, the people you love, the faith that you have, that's what's going to define you. You have to be who you are in this world, no matter what. At the end of the day, my friends, it's not about what you have or even what you've accomplished. It's about what you've done with those accomplishments. It's about who have you lifted up? Who have you made better? It's about what you've given back to those people. I think personally a role model is a mentor, someone who you see on a daily basis and you learn from them. My faith taught me how to forgive. Faith taught me when people present themselves in a certain way, there's probably some backstory or issue or reason for the way that they are acting. It's not you, my friends. It's them. And a lot of times, it's about something that's completely out of their control. Put God first. I've been protected. I've been directed. I've been corrected. I've kept God in my life, and it's kept me humble. I didn't always stick with him, but he always stuck with me. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. And understand, to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. You'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. It's not how much you have in life. It's about what you do with what you have. That's where the success is in helping others. Say thank you in advance for what's already yours. That's how I live my life. True desire in the heart for anything good is God's proof to you, sent beforehand to indicate that it's yours already. My advice is this, and it's simple. Don't just aspire to make a living. Friends, aspire to make a difference. And may God bless each and every one of you, and take good care. Bye-bye now. Good morning. My name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an author, an addiction recovery coach, a life coach, and the host of this show, To Take Your Life Back Today radio show. You can see a video version of this if you go to channel Take Your Life Back Today show on YouTube. Enough is enough, folks. People in situations that upset you. See, there's some people that know just how to push your buttons, don't they? They just want to aggravate you. But I'm not going to expend any energy arguing with anyone like them. Life is too short, ladies and gentlemen, and it is very unpredictable. I don't want to spend my time arguing with anybody, so I avoid situations that will get me upset. I don't argue with people. I draw the line at a certain point. There are certain things that we just go through in life that just are taking so much energy from us, and at some point you just have to draw a line and just say enough is enough. You have to do that with yourself. One negative stroke in life is 16 times more powerful than a positive struggle. And if you have people around you who are not sensitive to who you are, and the people that can hurt you are the most closest people that you might love. Those are the people that you love, but they could hurt you. They are the ones that you're vulnerable to. They are the ones that you can have access to. And if they're insensitive, they don't care what they say sometimes. See, if you don't draw the line with people, if you just let them run rampant in your life and you let things happen to you that don't feel good about, that you don't feel good about, if you continue to allow that to happen, you won't feel good about yourself. Your image of yourself will start eroding. So you've got to draw the line. A lot of people just go to a job where they are miserable, day in and day out. Why do people stay together when they are miserable, sleeping in separate rooms or even arguing? The only thing that they have in common is paying bills. They don't talk. They don't communicate. They don't share anything together. They just pay bills. Day in and day out is short and unpredictable that life is. Being mean to each other is not the answer. So why do people do that? Known hells are preferable to strange heavens because it's familiar. See, life is rough. It's rough and it's scary. It's scary growing. It's scary taking a chance. It's scary acting on your own intuition, on your own guts. It's scary. It's frightening. There are people that's just tolerating things right now, and they are immobilized by fear. They can see the hammer coming and they are afraid to even move because it's scary to go against the dominant thinking of your family, your friends, and those people you associate with each and every day. And those perhaps are the most difficult act of courage that you will ever perform to deal with. See, when you start growing, when you start changing the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you act, the way you respond to things, the way you use your time, when you start saying, no, I can't do that. That is the judgment of you. Why? You're too busy, people might ask. You don't have time for me. I have my own agenda, you might have to say. So if people can put you on a guilt trip, they will use you and abuse you over and over and over again. You have to draw the line. You have to draw the line on them and anyone else. Don't go through life feeling like you're powerless. Victims of people are powerless. You're not powerless. I know that. You're as powerful as they come. You direct the power in your life. Whatever your life is right now, it is a duplication of your consciousness. It's a result of how you have decided to use your power. That's all it is. That's not who you are. That's just perverted use of your power that you aren't satisfied with. And you've got the power to change that starting today. Wherever you are watching me, I don't know, but I know you've got the power to do that. But you don't know what has happened to me. I don't know what has happened to you. It really doesn't matter what has happened to either one of us because we have the power to change. See, the only thing that really matters is what you are going to do about it. How will you proceed? That's all that matters. That's all that matters, my friends. You can allow it to destroy you or you can allow it to build you up. One of my books, Struggles Became My Strength, says it all. We never get to a level where we feel that there's nothing else for us to do. That's that we have achieved certain number of goals and we figure that we're through with anything else. No. You don't want to stay there and celebrate too long, like a lot of people do. You always want to be ambitious and move on. They do something they consider outstanding. They go around talking, bragging, what they used to do, not what they're doing now and what they're doing tomorrow. See, let me tell you, I used to do this. I used to do that. Used to be, don't make you no honey. What are you doing now? What are you doing tomorrow? You're still breathing. You can still do. That means you've got some more to give. Doesn't matter how old you are. Doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter about what you have. Does not matter about what you've done. What matters is what you're doing now. Life is about growing. It's about being productive. It's about stretching. It's about challenging yourself, and you need to keep moving. So you start looking around and decide, hey, what else do I want to do? What got me here is a time for celebration, but also a time for reflection. What got me here, that what worked, what did not work? What do I need to do to repeat so I can get the same kind of result in the other areas of my life? If the goal is to improve my health, if the goal is to improve my relationship, if the goal is to improve my income, if the goal is to improve something in society, what is it that I need to do? Not what I used to do, because that's not going to change today or tomorrow. Now, don't get confused with what you do with who you are. Don't trip. Don't go on some type of ego trip by talking about how bad you are None of us do anything by ourselves. Develop an appreciation for external support as well as good fortune, because all of those things play a role in life. The other thing is, don't go overboard to celebrate. You must meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same way. You look at it. Hey, I did it, you say. I feel good about that. Now you're moving on to the next thing. Things did not work out the way you wanted them to work out, did they? You didn't produce the results that you were wanting to produce. Hey, you missed that. You win some, you lose some. Next, move on. Moving right on. Don't confuse who you are with what you do, and make up your mind for better opportunities to plant those seeds to harvest in future opportunities. Think of, if you want to experience a sense of fulfillment, you've got to have an open mind so that the ideas can come in there and take root and grow. So part of the beginning, to have fertile ground, you know you have to break that ground up. You got to break up that hard crust, because if you don't, seeds fall there and the wind can blow them away, the winds of doubt. See, when you're set in your mind and you refuse to grow and you're not open to new ideas, new methods, new ways of doing things, if your mind is already fixed and closed, you become stagnant. You can grow. You cannot grow. You cannot have sense of fulfillment that way. You become extremely cynical and negative about everything. You know it all, don't you? So if you want to begin to look at life and have a sense of curiosity, not knowing all is not the attitude. You want to keep learning, keep growing. Realize that we have a theme in our lives. You never find out how much you know until you find out how little you know. And there are some people who can't tell anything. You can't tell them anything. They have all the answers. Oh, I've already done that. So many of us count ourselves out of things prematurely. You don't know what the possibilities are up and available. So you want to be open. You want to continue to learn. You want to continue to grow. You want to continue to know that there are unlimited ideas out here waiting for you to latch onto starting today. And if you don't take advantage of them, if you let them slide away when they come your way because you're so closed-minded, do understand somebody else will pick those ideas up. We've all had ideas, haven't we? Then we did not act on it and looked around and somebody else had the idea and gone with it. So be open and receptive. Become involved in life. Live your fantasy starting today. Most people go through life not living their fantasy. Sitting up in the bleachers and looking onto the game, looking out on the field, looking out into the arena, wishing that they were down there just fantasizing, seeing themselves running with the ball. You can run with the ball. Decide to live your fantasy. See, in life, you can go through life. You can come up with reasons, or you can come up with results. You can come up with excuses, or you can come up with achievements. That is where I'm asking you to go this morning. You can go through life blaming, or you can come up with solutions. The choice is in your hand. Satisfaction or despair, we can choose that. You can allow setbacks to be setbacks or to have greater comebacks because of those setbacks. So look at your life and decide, what is it that you want to do that will give your life a sense of worth? Someone said that your life worth is measured by your accomplishments and not by your complaints. How true that is. Want to have a fulfilling life? Decide not to make your life predictable. Some people, their lives are very predictable. They got a little routine. They do that, may follow that day in and day out, day in and day out. You don't get much juice and happiness out of life like that if you're so predictable. You want to change it up. Variety most certainly is the spice of life. Folks, here's something else in closing. Want to create a greater sense of fulfillment? Challenge your fears daily. Challenge them. Look those fears in the face and take them on. Don't allow them to rule you. You rule your fears. Decide that you're going to take some chances. You've got to be willing to risk. If you're not willing to risk, you can't grow in your life. Life has no power when you're not willing to risk. I remember in the Marine Corps boot camp, I used to look at these big guys. I had to fight big Marines, and I had fear, but I took that fear on, and I was able to continue. It's that. To laugh is to risk appearing the fool. To weep is the risk appearing the sentimental. To reach out for another is the risk in involvement. To expose feelings is the risk of exposing your true self. To place your ideas, your dreams before a crowd is to risk their loss. To love is to risk not being loved in return. To live is to risk dying. To hope is the risk of despair. To try is the risk of failure. But risk must be taken because the greatest hazard in life is to risk nothing at all. The person who risks nothing does nothing, has nothing, is nothing. They may avoid suffering and sorrow, but they cannot learn, feel, change, grow, love, and live. Changed, or I should say chained by their servitudes, they are a slave. They have fortified their freedom. Only a person who risks is free. Call me at 844-405-HELP. Together we can help each other take our lives back. Be good to yourself. Always be good to each other. Remember, a simple smile to a stranger can change that stranger's day, change their life. It can make a difference in your own life. Folks, it is now time for you to say enough is enough, because you are worth more than what people give you credit for. May God bless each and every one of you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. And remember, for God so loved the world, he gave us his son. Take good care. Bye-bye now.